And coming on the heels of this polling, which shows that the Republican Party is considered broken or lost or bad. How do you like to be described? When your political party is just being described as bad, you know you've got a problem. So Roll Call reports that on Wednesday, yesterday, there was a meeting of the Republican Study Committee. I don't know what the Republican Study Committee is. I guess they gather around a circle and talk about how the world is only 6,000 years old, and all this Darwinism stuff is really a crock. But it became heated over the recent removal of 4 Republicans from Plum Committee spots. You'll recall we reported on this last week, culminating in a key lawmaker explaining why it happened. Lynn Westmoreland of Georgia, a staunch conservative who sits on the Republican Steering Committee that made the decision to remove the lawmakers. At the time, it was reported that Bonaire kicked these lawmakers off the committees. He probably did, but only at the behest of the Steering Committee, which is why he could get away with it. It was being reported as getting rid of Tea Party members. And Westmoreland told Congressional Quarterly Roll Call in a phone interview, what I tried to explain to them was it didn't have anything to do with your voting record, some type of scorecard, your work across the street, or anything else. By across the street, he's talking about the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee. In other words, how much money have you raised? Have you hit your goals to raise money for the National Republican Campaign Committee? Didn't have to do with your work across the street or anything else. It had to do with your ability to work within the system and try to work. And to be, I guess, constructive in things. And I said, I guess you could say it was an asshole factor. Westmoreland went on to say, now, I wasn't calling any member in particular an asshole. I was just trying to describe an environment where some people that you're trying to work with, they just don't want to work within the system. In other words, I was calling them assholes. And no one wants to go to work with a bunch of assholes. Westmoreland later expressed regret for using that language, saying, maybe I should have used obstinate factor. He also praised Representative Walter B. Jones of North Carolina specifically. Now, I mentioned when Walter Jones was taken off these committees that he was still in hot water with Republicans for being so anti-war during the Bush administration. Westmoreland says, I love Walter Jones. He's one of the nicest, most sincere, honest people up here. However, he has come under fire from leadership from criticizing the GOP from the left. So it's not that... I guess it was just those other 3, Hulskamp, Justin Amish, and David Schweikart of Arizona, who were the a-holes. Walter Jones was just not sufficiently conservative enough, even though the story we were sold is that these guys were too conservative and this is a strike against the Tea Party. I guess it was just a strike against the a-hole party. Nobody likes you. Leave. So Republicans... now publicly calling each other a-holes.